Okay, here we are. We are back again. How is everybody doing? I hope you're all well. Let us know in the comments who is here. Let me know how your Tuesday is going. We are live at 5 with me, Matt Hall, and Helen Hill. Helen, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm good, thank you. Are you okay?
I'm amazing. And today's a really, really important one, guys. So I just want to say, please do stick with us for this live video because we're going to be talking about how to get back on track. So I want to be really clear. This is going to be a live video that's going to give you a step-by-step guide. And this is going to be for you if you are the sort of person that feels like you're maybe in that place where you're in a bit of a summer slump. Maybe you started the year with great intentions. You set some goals. You knew what you wanted. But for whatever reason, bit by bit, you've lost momentum. You've lost your mojo. You're not on track. And now you're just feeling like, maybe I can't be bothered achieving those goals. Maybe it's not for me. Maybe it's next year. If that's your mindset right now, this is going to be a video to help you. But also, if you're the sort of person where things are going okay and you're sort of doing good, but you could maybe be doing better, I'm sure there's going to be some great tips in here that can help you, because everything that I coach, everything that Helen and I speak about here at Success School is about making things sustainable so that there is longevity for you. So that is what we're going to be speaking about today. Helen, have we got some people watching us on Facebook?
We do. We've got some Success School members. We've got Lynn and Carol. Big shout out to them.
Absolutely amazing. Hang on, it's saying my live video's paused over on Instagram. So I just want to make, I think we're having problems with Instagram today, folks. You're going to have to bear with me. I don't know what the issue is. And if there's only one way to save it, might be by stopping this live. Bear with us, guys. We will get to the bottom of it. I don't know why it was, but I had this issue just a second ago where it didn't look like it was connected. One sec. We're going to get this saying it's, here we go. Am I still there?
You're still here.
Still here. Right, just bear with me a second, guys. I don't know what the problem is. I did exactly the same as what I did yesterday, and it all looked totally fine. And then when I pressed it, nothing happened. And then this time we did a restart. It looked like it happened. And now it's just showing the countdown on Instagram. So apologies. I can see loads of people joining us on Instagram.
There was a bit of a lag yesterday on Instagram, though, you know, so maybe it is
going to
up. Yeah. So maybe it's just...
All right, guys, bear with us. I'm going to end the video on Instagram. I'm going to discard that, and we're just going to hit that live. If you are here on Facebook, stick with us. Is there any, get some engagement, give us some comments. How's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? Let us know. Is this something that applies to you? Are you feeling the slump? Are you struggling with motivation? Because it's always good for us to get some feedback to know who we're speaking to. And then also ask us any questions, because if we can help you, we'd love to help you. So we'd love some engagement. Is there anybody there yet in the comments, Helen?
Yes, we've got Carol just said, joined on here as Insta's not working. We are working on that. Matt is putting his technical skills.
My technical skills are zero. I'm not technically minded. I am terrible. I'm doing my absolute best. I've saved that on there, so that should be right. Everything looks right.
Lynn is saying she feels a little frazzled today. Or is she asking you, do you feel a little frazzled? I'm not sure. She's saying feeling a little frazzled today, Matt Hall. I don't know if that means she's feeling frazzled or if she's asking you, are you frazzled?
Tell us more, Lynn. Frazzled. Tell us about how you... Here we go. Go live. This is looking promising now. Cheers, guys. Appreciate you for being here. And we'll just make sure that we are good on... See, this is going to do the algorithm thing again, Helen. It always punishes you if you do more than one live in a short space of time. So I'm not sure if people are going to actually see this as much. Carol, I can see you there. Can you hear us? Can you see us? Is this better? Is this working now? Please do let us know if this seems better. Sorry, guys. We're just having a little bit of a technical issue. It does look like we're here, though, Helen. This is looking good now. Let us know in the comments, though. Just please let us know. Can you hear us? Can you see us? I can see Carol says, yay, Insta is up and running now. All right, we'll just do a really brief reintroduction of this. This is an episode that we're doing, Helen and I talking all things about how to get on track or get back on track. So if you have been the sort of person that set your goals for this year and you feel now you're in a bit of a summer slump, you've maybe lost your motivation, you are not achieving as much as you wanted. We're going to give you a step-by-step guide to really help you. But also, if you are the sort of person where things have been going pretty well, but you know they could be going better, then I'm sure, as I was saying earlier, there'll be something in here for you. Without further ado, let's jump in. As long as, let me know in the comments, everybody just tell me you're here. Let me know as well how you're feeling. Let's just start with that, just to give us a little bit of feedback. Are you in the slump school? Are you in that slump school of going, summer slump time, I'm not on track, I've lost momentum, I've lost motivation? Or are you in success school where you are continuing to go and strive from success to success? Let us know, because it's really good to get some feedback from you guys. Also, so let's dive straight in, Helen. And again, Helen's going to be here sharing her personal experience as somebody that's been part of our membership for over 5 years now. And now she's working with me as part of the team at Success School. And she's bloody amazing. So that's the first thing I want to say, Helen, is thank you so much. All right, let's go straight in. These are the 6 steps to help you get back on track if you have lost all momentum and motivation. So the first step is about changing the mindset. And what we want to change the mindset from is all in, all out mindset to slow and sustainable. Now, let me go deep on this one, because this has been a big issue for me for many, many years. And actually just mastering this in itself can be a huge game changer. Most people, and I'm speaking to those of you that have maybe just commented saying, yeah, I've lost my mojo, lost momentum, lost motivation, the 3 M's. I've lost Matt. No, we don't need 4. And now I'm in a position where I just feel I'm not going to the gym. I'm not eating as healthy, or maybe I'm not as focused on my career or my business or whatever it is you feel you've lost that momentum with. What we often do is we eventually get to a point of pain, aka frustration with ourselves, and we get angry. And we will go from all out mentality, which was doing very little, to all in, which is to try and to do everything we can possibly do. The first thing I want to say to every single one of you is do not do that. Change the mindset. We don't want to go all in, right? We do not want to now go from nothing to everything. What we want to do is start slow, steady, sustainable. And this is the thing that I think throws people, because they get pissed off, they go all in, and then they set themselves up for unrealistic expectations. So they're like, right, this is it. I'm going to go to the gym 65 times a day. I'm going to eat broccoli and cabbage and lettuce leaves and no chocolate, no sugar, no fun, no joy, no alcohol. And they just set themselves up with this completely and utterly unrealistic expectation. Now, I'm talking about fitness, health there. But whatever it is, if you've got a goal to grow your social media, to grow a business, to make more money, to work on your relationships, whatever it is you want to achieve more in, what I want to say to you is forget that all-in mentality. Because when you set yourself these unrealistic expectations, what people do then is they obviously fail. They obviously don't achieve what they set out to do. And then they get frustrated with themselves. They get angry. They beat themselves up. They call themselves a failure. And guess what? They go back to all out. They go, maybe this success thing, it's just not for me. Maybe I'll just never achieve. I tried. I gave it my all. I threw everything into it, and it just didn't work. And this is why New Year's resolutions just do not work for people, because that they do exactly that, right? They just go from the whole overeating, over drinking, over partying over Christmas, telling themselves they can because it's Christmas. Then they go to all in on, let me get fit, healthy. This is going to be my year. I'm going to build an empire, make millions of pounds, get fit, get a 6-pack. And they go all in suddenly. And that kind of yo-yo, it's just never going to work. So here's the kind of rule that I give to a lot of clients when I'm working with is give yourself what I call the 48-hour rule. Set yourself realistic goals and be like, do you know what? Just everybody listening now, answer this question. Is it realistic to say that for the rest of your life, from now till the day you leave this planet, is it realistic to say you will never, ever, ever have a shit day? Is that realistic? Is it realistic to say I'll never have a day where I have low motivation, low mood, mess something up? Put it in the chat now. Let us know. Is that realistic? Is it realistic to say that will never, ever, ever happen again? You're just going to do self-development, personal development work, and then you're going to become this ultra special human that can never, ever have a bad day. Is that realistic? Let us know in the comments. I know there's a little bit of lag time with comments, by the way. It's like we've
said no.
Facebook's got it. No, it's not realistic. Thank you, Lynn. We appreciate the engagement. It's not realistic. So what we have to do is adjust that and say, okay, what is realistic is from time to time we'll have a shit day. From time to time, we'll get it wrong. From time to time, I'll eat the cake when I should have been on my quote unquote diet, meal plan, whatever you call it. Because see all the no's coming in now. Ari, we've got, is it Toby? We've got Carol, we've got Zoe, we've got Jeanette, we've got Olivia. That'll be lovely, but no. I mean, I would even question that, Oliver. Would it be lovely? Isn't it nice sometimes to have that balance in life and go, I've been working hard. I've been doing really amazing things. I've been doing good in the world. But you know what? Yesterday I had a duvet day where I ate chocolate and watched a DVD. Who watches DVDs? No one do anymore, do they? I'm like an old man. Watch Netflix with the cool kids. Like, also, that's what makes life great, right? There's an element of balance, which is important. So this is the thing that I want to say here is be realistic and go, I'm always going to have those days in my life. And what I say to clients is every now and then, and obviously you can't do this every day. It's not going to work. You can't even do it every week. But every now and then, let's say every 3 to 4 weeks, something. If you just feel that things have maybe got a bit out of control, you're not on, you don't feel focused, you don't feel motivated, and you don't want to go to the gym, you don't want to work hard, whatever, give yourself that day. Like, give yourself that day to be human, to not be focused on goals and achieving and whatever that is. And basically, whatever I coach you for that day, tell me to off. Like, no, Matt, I'm sick of you. Shut up. I'm not doing it today, right? For a day. And then the plan is get back on track the next day. But then what I also say is some days a day ain't enough. Some days you need another day. So this is why I call it the 48-hour rule. Give yourself maximum every so often, 48 hours, guilt-free, to say, do you know what? I just need a reset. It's all got a bit much. I'm a little bit exhausted, burnt out, whatever it may be. I just need balance. I need a reset day or two. But the deal that you make with yourself, and this is how I say it when I'm talking to clients, you've got 2 deals to make with yourself. Number 1 is to allow yourself that without guilt, right? Be okay with that. And the second deal is you want to try and get back on track after 24 hours. But if you don't, you must make the deal that after 48, whatever happens, however you feel, doesn't matter. Get back on track. Get back to work. Helen, anything you want to share with regards to this, the all out versus all in mentality, the 48-hour rule, just from your personal experience?
I think everybody knows that it doesn't work because I think everybody's been there, haven't they? And everybody's done the whole, like, right, that's it. I'm going to Zumba 7 times a week and I'm eating lettuce and that's going to be that.
But they still do it. We still do it, right?
Yeah. And it lasts like, a fortnight at best. And then you're just like the most miserable you've ever been. So definitely, we all know from experience, and we need to learn from that experience that does not work and have a more balanced approach to it. There's some comments coming in here as well, Matt. Lynn is up to my usual tricks of putting Matt sound bites out there about having a victor, not a victim mindset. But she said she's having a day like that today. She's leaning into it and she's fresh and on it tomorrow.
Fantastic. And that's it. Okay, we're going to move on to step 2 then. So step 1 is about changing the mindset. Do not go into this now. If you're the person I'm speaking to that has fallen off track, lost motivation, do not decide now you're going to go from all out to all in. You want to just take your time with things, lose that approach, lose that attitude. There's a quote that I talk about a lot as well, which is when I think Warren Buffett originally said it, Tony Robbins definitely speaks about it. That is, most people overestimate what they can achieve in a year and underestimate what they can achieve in 10. And what that's talking about is people just be like, oh my God, this is my year. I'm going to achieve everything. I'm going to smash it. I'm going to be superhuman, and then just burn out and don't achieve anything. Whereas if you go at a steadier pace, and you have one solid year of decent consistency and duplicate that over 10, that would be an incredible decade. And I would say this to you as well, just before we do move on to step 2. The goal isn't to have 100% perfect days. That's not the goal. The goal is to have more positive, productive days than you do unproductive, negative days. That's it. That's all the goal is over time, have you had way more positive, productive days than the negative and the chocolatey days and the can't be bothered days? As long as over time you've had more of them, then you're winning and you will be consistent. But people don't do that. They will have weeks of all in, usually at the start of January, burn out, get fed up, can't be bothered, and then weeks, if not months, of doing nothing for their health and fitness, eating whatever they want, and so on and so forth. And then over that period of time, they've had, that 14-day all-in mentality, but then they've had 6 weeks of not really bothering. Overall, you've not been productive. So just reframe that. We don't want to look at it from that sort of angle. We want to go just overall, am I having more positive, productive days than not? That's the goal. And then you win. All right, let's move on to number 2. So if you're now out of the good habits, in a bit of a slump, not doing the stuff that you know are going to help you, then we want to look at those bad habits, as Ed Sheeran once sang about, because they lead to bad habits, lead to late nights ending alone. They lead to, I can't remember the rest. I'm not going to try. Stop being an Ed Sheeran tribute, Matt. Know your place. So we want to look at those bad habits. So what are your bad habits right now? Are you eating, overeating? Are you not focused on your business or your career? And are you not, maybe if you are in business, are you not showing up on social media? Are you not pushing yourself? What are the habits that you want to be doing that you're not doing? And what are the habits that you don't want to be doing that you are doing? So the first thing is about recognize what those habits are. And then once you know, let's take first and foremost the bad habits. What are the bad habits? Once you know what the habits are, you want to identify what are the triggers that make you more likely to keep on doing those bad habits. Because this is something that James Clear speaks about amazingly, and I'm sure lots of people have heard the book Atomic Habits. But it's about once you identify those triggers, you want to remove the triggers as best as possible, where possible. Because when you see the trigger, it's like, I think they speak about in the book something like, if you're not even hungry, and then you walk in the kitchen and someone's baked loads of cakes and they smell incredible, you're probably going to eat a cake, right? If you were in Carol's bun kitchen, right, you're probably going to eat some of Carol's buns because you're going to smell them. They're going to smell great. You're going to see them. They're going to look great. You're probably going to have a taste. Once you have a taste, you're probably going to want some more. Why are you eating those buns? It's not because you wanted them. It's because the trigger was there. So this is the thing. If you currently have got some bad habits, identify the triggers and remove them. So what I would say, and obviously, again, this is going to be goal dependent. I'm just giving generalized coaching here, but I want you to think, if you're watching this now, specifically, what are your bad habits? If it is maybe that you're eating more cakes and buns and biscuits, well, remove the trigger, aka don't buy them in. Or if you're living with a family who love the cakes and buns and they're happy to eat them, that's fine. But maybe ask if it's okay if you store them in a cupboard you never go to, and just ask for everybody to respect. I don't want to see them. I don't want to be around them. If that's all right, let's store them there. I won't see them. It's going to help remove the trigger. So that's the first thing. Identify what are the bad habits, and think about this now, everybody watching. What are the habits you want to break right now? Really think about this. And then think, what are the triggers? And also, because what we're saying here, we want to remove exposure to triggers as best as possible, but recognize triggers are not always necessarily just physical triggers. Triggers can be online. Who are you following? What accounts are you following? What TV are you watching? What media are you watching? Who are you around? What people are you talking to? What environments are you in? These are all things that trigger habits. It's that whole thing. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time around. There's a lot of truth in that. Like, what is your environment? Because that's going to massively influence your behavior, right? So think about that. Remove as best as you can the triggers for the bad habits. And then the opposite is true. Figure out what are the good habits we need to bring back in. And when you know what the good habits are, we then want to increase exposure to triggers that make it easier. So one that I often share when I'm coaching this is, if you want to be more hydrated, if you know you need to drink more water, what you could do each evening is get a load of water bottles, glasses, whatever, fill them up with water and put them in the places you know you're going to be the next day. Put one in your office, one in your car, one in your kitchen, whatever. Because I know, like, when I'm here, like, I've already drank this a few times on this live. If that wasn't here, I wouldn't drink it. Think about how many times I'm going to be drinking this water throughout this call, because it's just there. And I just think, oh, I've finished talking now. Helen, do you want to chat? And then I just see it trigger, boom. And I'm just drinking water mindlessly. So again, one that's spoken about in James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, he speaks about, like, if you want to read more, and that's a good habit that you want to get better at, when you make your bed in the morning, put your book on your sheets or on your pillow, so that when you come back in an evening, you've got to physically touch, see, feel the book. You're more likely to think, this is a habit I want to do more. I'll just read a couple of pages, and a couple of pages might turn into 4 or 5 pages. Now you're reading. All right. So really think about that with both the good habits, the bad habits. With the bad habits, reduce exposure to the triggers. With the good habits, you want to increase the exposure so that you're more likely to do it. Again, it's about path of least resistance, where you want to make it as easy as possible to do the good stuff. Helen, anything you want to just add?
Yeah, I think what you've just said there about like obviously removing the bad triggers and putting the good triggers in, definitely one of the biggest things for me with that has been the people, the type of
Yeah,
conversations that I'm having. Because if you're constantly around people that are sort of letting themselves off the hook, quitting, moaning, it rubs off. But in the same way, getting around people that have got goals, that are adhering to those goals, that are motivated, it inspires you to stay that way as well. And that has been a huge turning point in my life.
me too. And I think it's important to say as well, not everybody wants to achieve your goals. Not everybody wants success. Not everybody wants to do what you're doing. And that doesn't necessarily make them bad people. I think there's this whole school of thought, which is like, burn the boats, cut off all negative people, like delete, block, don't speak to anybody, like ignore your children, ignore your parents, ignore them all. They're all negative. Look, that's nonsense as well. Look, there's going to be certain people at certain times where it's just not good to be around. And in extreme cases, and it does happen, there's people where you just need to go, I need to remove myself from their presence. But I think generally speaking, for most of us, most of the time, it's not about being that drastic. It's just about being more aware. What are the conversations that serve you? Who are the people that help, support, that motivate, that inspire, that lift you up? And who are the people that take away, that drain, that put you down, that are negative? And what you want to do, again, just like we're saying with the habits there, isn't it, is just increase the exposure to the people that support you, that motivate you, that help you, that keep you on track, and just reduce, not necessarily always completely remove. It's not always possible. And also, you can learn from both ends of the spectrum as well. You know, it's not just about fake positivity and just immersing yourself in fakeness. You need that little bit of reality as well. I think that's probably been a big one for us both, though, isn't it? And it's an ongoing thing that we work on, right?
And I think like picking and choosing who you have what conversation with as well. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to remove people from your life, but there's certain people that I just wouldn't talk about certain things to because I know they
Right.
don't get it. I know that they wouldn't give me the response that's going to inspire me, motivate me, lift me up. And therefore, I just will not broach that subject with them. I'll talk to them about other stuff. But if
Yeah.
I want to have that kind of conversation, I'll have it with somebody that I know is on that page and that will give me a response that's going to serve me.
Such a great point. It's that thing of we say self-development comes from self-awareness. It's about becoming really aware, isn't it? And there's certain people that I have in my life, and I blooming love them to pieces. We can have a real laugh. There can be so much that I get from that relationship, and I bring to that relationship. But I know I ain't going to talk about making money. I know I ain't going to talk about business. I know I ain't going to talk about goals because they just don't care and they're not interested. So it's about respecting that. And also, there's people in my life that need me. They don't give me anything. They just take from me. But again, what you're saying there, Helen, is I go in the mindset there. I'm just there to serve. I'm not there to take. I don't. Therefore, again, expectations. I'm okay with it. I'm not expecting to get uplifted and motivated from this conversation. So I'm just going to be the best version of me. I'm going to support them and serve them as best as possible. It's all gravy, baby, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think once you can start cracking that, that's where it does make a huge difference overall. You start to notice that you don't get as demotivated because you're having the right conversations with the right people. And sometimes it can knock you off track if you're having it with the wrong people. Once you stop doing that, you do see a difference.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on to number 3. So just to recap for those joining, step number 1 is to change the mindset from this all in versus all out mentality, and also give yourself that 48-hour rule we spoke about. Step 2 is about identifying the triggers of your habits. You want to increase exposure to the triggers that are going to help you do the good habits and remove exposure to the triggers that make you more likely to do the bad habits, as Ed Sheeran once sang about. Okay, step number 3, big one. This people really need to hear this one. Step number 3 is remove stress from your life. Like if you are wanting to stay on track and achieve these goals, whatever those goals are, and again, they're going to be different from person to person, why are you expecting to be, again, this kind of superhuman superhero that can just take on everything whilst you've got loads of stresses going on? And I know a lot of people struggle with this. In particular, from my experience, a lot of women struggle with this. A lot of parents struggle with this. But there's this thing that we say, which is you have to be selfish to be selfless. You cannot give what you haven't got. If you're just taking on everybody else's burdens and stresses, there's only so much you're going to be able to give until you just completely burn out and all the rest of it. So the thing that we want to talk about here is really identify where is there unnecessary stress in your life. We're all going to have bits of stress. Every single one of us. That's life. It's part of being human. But for most of us, we have additional unnecessary stress. But then we try and achieve these big goals and we're adding on all these extra stresses when it's like at the same time we've got stresses at work, stresses with our money, stresses with family life, stresses with our trying to eat healthy, trying to achieve, be in shape and go to the gym and all these stresses. And then we're putting in these other stresses of trying to achieve these great goals. It's never going to happen. If you think about it, why is it easier when you've had that kind of period between Christmas and New Year when you kind of like going, I'm sick of eating now, I'm sick of drinking, I'm sick of partying, I'm sick of not being productive, and you go, right, I'm going to get back to the gym, I'm going to eat healthy, whatever. Why is it easier to maintain those habits in the first week or so? Because you haven't gone back to work yet. You haven't brought on this massive additional time constraint and stress. And then we think we've failed. We've not failed. We're just expecting too much of ourselves. So it's about really being clear. Whenever somebody feels they've lost track, they've lost motivation, and they've lost momentum, they suddenly think these are all the additional things I need to start doing again. And all they want to do is add on all these additional actions, habits, routines. And I'm saying to you, before you even start any of that, remove things, remove the people that are constantly taking from you, that are draining you, remove the situations that are constantly stressing you out as best as possible. All right. We're not talking about, there's certain things you just have to do and that's life. But for most people, I think they've got loads and loads of additional stresses that they just don't address and they just put up with it. And they're just people pleasers and they're scared to say no. They're scared to set boundaries. They're scared to quote unquote, let other people down. It's nonsense. Really focus on where are those unnecessary stresses and prioritize you and prioritize. We spoke a little bit about this yesterday. Prioritize sleep, man. Like you are going to be so much more stressed when you are overworked, underslept, not eating great nutrition, things like that. So really focus on that. Remove the stress. When you remove the stress, it becomes a lot easier to stay focused, stay on task, stay on track, and keep moving forward. Anything you want to add on that one, Helen?
Yeah, I think like you've just said, a lot of it is to do with boundaries, and also don't expect people to be able to read your mind either. If you're taking on new things and you're going to have less spare time, and I know as somebody that's married, for example, do you know what I mean? Like sometimes I'll get really wound up and I'll be like, I have to do everything. Like communicate then and say, like, I always do all this stuff, but now I'm going to go to the gym an extra day a week and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. So is there any chance that you could just maybe pick up doing this for me and delegate things so that you're not having the weight of the world on your shoulders, but have those conversations? Because don't just expect somebody to something that you've always done to suddenly just think that it's their job to do it now. Like
You're not a mind reader. Yeah.
You have to actually communicate that. And I think also these things, like one of my biggest bugbears is the whole like people adding you to group chats on things, and you can take up and lose so much of your time just being put into this. Like there's nothing wrong with saying to people, listen, people want 24-hour access to you all the time. And
yes, they do.
It's about saying, do you know what? Like, this is my time now. And, I had to do it a lot, especially when I was writing my book, where I would put my phone on airplane mode and I would and you shouldn't have to do that. Do you know what I mean? But I did. I did have to do that. It was all I could do to not be distracted constantly. But now I have got better boundaries, and I will say to people, if they start adding me to group chats on Facebook Messenger, I'm like, please don't do that.
Yeah.
Please don't do that, because I don't have the time for that. And it causes me anxiety when I see all these notifications of all these group chats and I'm like, so yeah, I think it's just about literally having boundaries and communicating them effectively as well.
And that's a massive one. I know so many people struggle with that. But if it doesn't come easy to you, that doesn't mean it's a reason to not do it.
Yeah.
Like you got to work at it, because you have to put yourself first in order to protect your own mental health and mindset and so on. And then secondary, to be able to be a better person for everybody else in your life is really important. So just kind of a little bit of a recap there. We've kind of gone through 3 main steps. And really, when we look at those first 3 steps, what we're talking about there is removing things predominantly. So step 1 was about removing this all in versus all out mentality. It's not useful. Step 2 was about removing the triggers that are going to, maintain bad habits ultimately. And then step 3 was remove the stresses from your life. You cannot just keep adding things in without first creating space for these things. So now when we come to the next few, this is more about the things to start proactively doing once you've removed those things. So step 4, this is what I want to say to every single person that is completely fallen off the wagon, as we say, and, just completely not on track, lost motivation. I want you now, after you leave this call, just pick one thing, maybe 2 at a maximum, that you are going to commit to doing immediately after this call. That's it. Like, if you know there's a certain goal you want to achieve, you know that you've not been working on it. Like we said earlier, I don't want you to go all in and start doing everything for that goal. I would suggest you pick one thing, maybe 2, and you commit to it straight after this call. And then you commit for a time frame of maybe just 7 days. That's it. Just commit for 7 days. Ideally, a little bit longer, maybe 14, 10 days, something like that. But just commit to a couple of things maximum. Because what that's going to do is just create a little bit of momentum, a little bit of discipline, and importantly, a little bit of pride. Like, yeah, I'm stuck to this. I'm doing what I said I was going to do. It's realistic. It's manageable. It feels good to be doing something again. I'll give you an example. Like when I knew I'd I'd gained a little bit of fat, and I was like, right, I need to I know the bad habits have crept in. I've not been as consistent with my routines and so on. I was like, what's one thing I know I can do? Because I'm not going to do this all-in mentality where I now go to the gym and I'll, go for 2 walks a day, and now I'm, really focused on calories and protein and all. I'm not doing it. And I was like, just steps. I'm just going to look at setting a step goal, and every single day I'm going to make sure I hit that goal. And that is going to increase my overall activity for this next 7 days. And something I always say with that as well is have an ideal goal and have a non-negotiable goal. And they should be 2 different ones. And what I mean by that is your ideal goal, for example, might be 12,000 steps a day. And this is not just about steps, guys. It's about anything. Like, have that kind of best case scenario goal, but also then have something just a little bit lower, which is your non-negotiable. So it might be that the ideal is 12,000. The non-negotiable is 8,000. Because what happened for me and what I found is I would have long days in here, sat in an office coaching and things like that, and doing general sedentary sort of work. And if I hadn't got my walk in the morning and I had a really long day here, say I was doing 14 hours or whatever, I would then get home late and I would be like, oh, it's late. And I would look at my step count. I'd be like, I've only done 2,500, 3,000 steps. And now if my ideal goal was, but I said I was going to do 12,000, it's just like, it's just not manageable. But if I'd said 7,000 or even 6,000, that difference of just getting that extra 3,000-4,000 steps in, which is a bit more manageable, you just think, just get your coat on and just walk for 25 minutes fast. It's done. Like, it's just 20 minutes or whatever. It's more manageable, right? And then overall, those days when you'd have only got 2,000-3,000, you're getting that 6,000, 7,000, 8,000. And then on the days you get in the 12,000. And I just think it's a really sustainable way of doing it. So pick one thing, but within that one thing, or maybe 2, like I say, maximum, have an ideal goal with that 1 or 2 things, and then have a non-negotiable with that. And then build on that over time. Just go, right, now I'm getting that in place. What's the second thing I'm going to do? Right, I don't want to be like over the top with my food, but I'm just going to be more conscious of portion control. I know I can have a habit of just eating extras or going for seconds. I'm not going to do that. That's the second thing. Every day I'm going to be mindful of having the right portion size and not having additional stuff. Those 2 things, you're going to drop a bit of fat. You're moving a bit more. You're eating a bit less. And it's sustainable. It's not a major discipline. It's just a little bit of a change. And then over time, you add more in. And then what I would always say is then add in some kind of accountability as well. So it might be you go for a check-in with a coach every 4 weeks or 6 weeks or something. So I need to now stay on track with this, because I know there's a day where I've said I'm going to do something and I want to be able to say to that person, I did what I said I was going to do. Right? I know, and I'm accountable for that. So that is step 4, is I want everybody now that is serious about this, I want you to just pick a couple of things that you're going to commit to doing consistently for the next 7, 10, 14 days, something like that. And then slowly but surely build on that if that is needed. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, I think something that me and you have both come quite sort of fond of is that compound effect, isn't it? Of in anything, in any area of your life, and definitely it's something that's helped me in terms of not getting overwhelmed by things as well, because I have anxiety and stuff. I just now look at things as, like you've just said, with the steps, you're better to consistently get a smaller amount of steps in, but consistently do it, than have like one big day and then like fall far short the next 5 days. And that compound effect has served me time and time again. And anything that I look at now goal wise, I look into it that way. And I think, right, what can I do? Slow and steady over time, exactly like writing a book. You can't sit down and write a book in one go. But if you could set yourself a target of writing 1,000 words every day, instead of thinking I'm going to write 10,000 words today, you can consistently actually do it and you will get the result. Whereas if you overwhelm yourself, you go in too big, you'll just fall off and you won't do it at all.
Completely that. Let us know in the comments as well. Is this making sense? Is this useful? Has anybody got any questions? Anything they'd like to ask? Anything they'd like to share? Please do comment and engage with us, because it's really, really good to get that feedback and just to know if this is useful, to know if there's anything you want help with, because we can also then not only like talk to you live now and maybe help, but it also gives us stuff to think about on future live videos, because we are committed to doing way more of this sort of stuff. Because as I've always said, my mission here with Success School is to help as many people as possible live happier, healthier, more fulfilling lives. And I want to make the access to the help, the support, the education, the conversations more affordable and accessible to everybody. And what I've seen in the self-development world and sort of the business development world, which is something else I'm big on, is often, getting access to the advice and the coaching and the mentoring and the communities is really, really expensive. So I'm committed to do as much free stuff as I can, aka videos like this live video, content like the reels and the posts that I do, the podcast that we put out, the YouTube channel, all that stuff for free. Then we've got the membership, which obviously Helen and I are massively going to be talking about and shouting from the rooftops, because we want more people to join us, because we believe in what we do there. Again, it's completely free to join us for a couple of weeks. And then after that, it's £4 odd a week. It's like really, really cheap for what you get. And you get coaching every single week and accountability and things like that. In a WhatsApp group, you get an amazing community. You get over hundreds of hours worth of videos and content in there to help you stay on track. And then obviously there is the one-to-one coaching. If you feel like you really want help and support with this at the highest level, that is a little bit more expensive. But again, very cheap compared to, let's just say, any coach that I've ever paid. Let's put it that way. But like I say, we want to do as much free stuff to help as many people as possible. So let us know in the comments if this is useful. Let us know if you've any questions. Anything, Helen, over on Facebook?
Loads of comments, Matt, to go through. Caroline has said, much better to have balance than extremes. Sarah Carter has just commented, I use the compound effect reel when I get frustrated if I can't do as much as I want. I have to remember that something towards the goal is better than nothing. Couldn't agree more, Sarah. It's exactly how I approach it as well. Joe Newson said, oh my God, this is amazing. Please do more. Trying to put me first and not feel guilty.
Love it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I can see over on Instagram, we've got a few as well. Jeanette says, makes total sense. Thank you so much. Carol says, really useful. This, that about the book. I need to get closer. Maybe I need glasses. Really useful, that about the book, because I have put it on the back burner as I've really struggled to write just now. I think too many plates, so I have just stopped doing it. Yeah, absolutely. And that is, again, that's fine too. We all go through seasons where we go, oh, hang on, we need to readjust the balance a little bit and, rein things in a little bit. We've also got the Full Freezer. Hello, the Full Freezer says, all such great advice. Starting gradually and building in is a game changer. I totally agree. And thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you for your engagement and your comments. I really, really appreciate that. All right, let's move on to the 5th of 6 steps to getting you back on track. So this is a big thing. And again, I just want to give a shout out to the book as well, the Slight Edge. We were just talking there, weren't we, about the compound effect, and I thought I want to mention that, and I just forgot there. So that's another great book. So 2 great books, Atomic Habits. I know a lot of people have read these books now, but I also think if you've read them, read them again, because they're really good to remind yourself of. So we've got we've got Atomic Habits, but also The Slight Edge is another great book, which is talking about what Helen was referring to there with the compound effect. Going back to the Atomic Habits book, step 5, there's kind of something again covered in that book that is really what I want to talk about with step 5. And that is, with most people, when they want to get back on track, they really put the emphasis on what's the goals, what's the achievements, what's the results that I want to get, and what do I need to do to get there. And there's a major shift that I suggest you make, which is, by the way, there's nothing wrong with those things. Know the goal. I want, it's really important. If I want to know where I'm going in life, and I want to set something that is going to excite me and that's going to benefit my life. So there's nothing wrong, I don't believe, with setting goals and, focusing on that. But once you've focused on it and once you've set the goal, the biggest thing that I suggest people focus on is not the outcome, the goal, and not the process, what you're going to do to get there, what the steps are. Is actually to focus on the identity. Again, this is something covered a lot in Atomic Habits. The shift you want to make is focus on the beliefs you have about yourself. This is huge, right? And I think this is one of the biggest reasons people don't stick to goals, because often they have behaviors and habits that align with their goals, but don't align with who they believe they are. That's why they quit. You will never, ever stick to doing something that doesn't align with who you are. In other words, if you are getting up at 5 a.m., you go into the gym, you're eating really, really healthy, and that's not who you believe you are. You're like, this isn't me. I hate the gym. I hate early mornings. I hate healthy food. I am a person that loves wine and Netflix and chocolate and late nights. If you still believe at the core of you that is the person you are, it's just a matter of time till you quit. So if you're not working on the beliefs, if you're not working on the identity work, literally just quit now. Like, sod your goals. Just grab the chocolate and the wine. Forget it, because it is literally just a matter of time. You're probably going to manage a week or two tops if you're lucky, right? And then you're gonna go back to your old habits. So why waste the time? Why not just grab the wine and the chocolate now, basically? Because what I say is, anybody can have a holiday from the habits. Anybody can have a fortnight or a week off being who they are. But the real core, fundamental, deepest change comes from changing your beliefs, changing who you believe you are. So you want to shift it to, who do I value being? If my goal is to get fitter, healthier, stronger, to have more energy, to be more vibrant, who is the person I need to believe I am? What would a fitness person do? What would a health-conscious, vibrant, energetic person do? How would they behave? So it's not about just having this goal and this path. It's just about, in moment to moment, day by day, hour by hour, reconnecting with, come on, what is the version of me I want to be? How would they show up? And it's this thing of actions and beliefs and how they are both intrinsically linked. Because when you get focused on what the beliefs are that need to change and what the behaviors are, the two work hand in hand. If you believe you're a fitness person and then you behave like a fitness person, it then reinforces the belief. I am a fitness person. I know I am, because I just acted like one. And that is the most important thing, or one of the most important things, that are going to help you genuinely stay on track. So if you want to believe I'm a person who goes above and beyond, who always gives more than I take, who always serves, in little moments throughout the day, just remind yourself of that identity. That's the best version of myself. That's who I want to be. How would that version act right now? And then it's about acting with that. If I want to believe I'm a writer, how would a writer conduct themselves right now? If I want to read more, what would a reader be doing? They'd be reading books. So I just thought, like, the first time I heard this years ago, I was like, this is such a game changer that people don't really speak about. They focus just always on goals. They focus always on what actions do you need to take. They focus on accountability and all this kind of stuff, but it's about mindset. If you don't believe this is you, if this feels alien, it feels weird, it's not really who you are, and you've not really connected with that, you're never going to stick to it. It's just a matter of time before you go, do you know what? I'm out. This is not me. Anything you want to say on that, Helen?
Yeah, I think that's where, for me personally, on my journey, where Success School made a massive difference, actually, because I think I went from somebody that's like, oh, well, I'm dipping my toe into it and I'm trying to do this thing, and instead became somebody that was part of a personal development community that was working towards my goals. It shifted my identity within myself, and getting around other people that were also on that path. But I think that change in belief, that it was like, I am taking action on this thing, I am doing it, I am part of this community, I'm investing in myself, I'm taking it seriously, completely changed how I started to show up And as a result of that, change the results that I was getting.
And there was so much you did. Like, you actually went and wrote a book, right? That was like a lifelong goal that you'd never got around. Tell us about that process of like getting into the mindset of, actually, I am a writer. I might not have published a book. I might not be as famous as J.K. Rowling or whatever, but I have to believe I'm a writer now. It's not, I can't wait to have finished the book or it'll never get done.
Yeah, so it was about, like you said, just shifting that mindset of this is what I'm doing. And I think joining Success School massively helped with that, like actually coming out and opening up about that goal, because it wasn't something that there was really anybody around me that I could talk to about it or that would get excited about it anyway. Do you know what I mean? So I think being part of that helped me to come to you and you were like, wow, this is amazing. Like, yeah, let's go do it. And like having that encouragement helped. But then also just getting into setting habits. So that it was like, I'm going to write every day. I'm going to sit down and write every day. And you know what? Sometimes I sat down to write and it was useless. And the creativity didn't come. And I got half a sentence down and it was just, but despite that, make sure that I sit down, and whether I wrote a paragraph, a page, or 10 pages, it didn't matter. I just kept saying to myself, you can't edit a blank page. You can't edit a blank page. Get something on the page. It doesn't matter. Even if it's not that good, you can come back and edit it later. And it was just about, just starting to identify as that, starting to open up about that, saying to other people, I'm writing a book, started making me think that. And I think a lot of the time people are very shy with the goals and they're very fear judgment and fear, even somebody that's going on a weight loss journey doesn't want to tell people that they're doing it because then it's like, well, if I fail, they're going to judge me. And I think being able to actually come out and say it and talk about it, and then maybe put it in your Instagram bio that you're on this journey, or start posting on social media. You had me going live, didn't you, on social media and talking about it? All just helped to shift that identity from like, I'm dipping my toe into this thing and I'm dead like shy about it, to this is me, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing. And it eventually made me do it.
Love it. So I just want to say we're probably gonna have a little bit of time for a bit of Q&A here, folks. So again, just want to give a shout out. Anybody listening, if this is resonating, if this is useful, please do feel free to engage with the chat, ask any questions. If there's anything you want us to go deeper on, if there's anything you're not sure about, or if there's anything where just right now you're struggling with, please do by all means drop it in the chat. And if we can help, we absolutely will. So sixth and final one, this is something that we speak about a lot and we will continue to speak a lot, is get help. Do not do it alone. Seriously, I cannot say this enough. Like, how badly do you want to achieve? And again, not everything needs to be paid. Like, there's accountability buddies. There is friends that can help you. There is loads of free resources that are going to keep you on track, keep you motivated, keep you learning. It doesn't all need to be paid for stuff, but make a commitment to get that help. By all means, I would love it. Come and subscribe to my podcast, my YouTube channel, the Success School podcast. Follow us on social media, but then also make a commitment to listen to that stuff, watch that stuff, because it will help rather than just you trying to go it alone. That extra boost of motivation, inspiration, whatever it may be, will help you if you listen to it. But you've got to remember the caveat this. You will not want it when you're demotivated. You will just want to watch the cat video. You will just want to watch a funny video or some entertainment or drink the beer, eat the chocolate, whatever, when you're on low motivation, low mood. But they're the times you need it the most. So it is about having a bit of discipline and committing to say, look, I am just going to stick on that podcast, or I am just going to go for a short walk and listen to that audio book, because there is things out there that will help you. And obviously, if you can afford to get paid help, whether that be working with a therapist, whether it be working with a personal trainer, whether it be a specific coach in a certain area, or a business coach or a life coach, mindset coach, as lots of you know, it's a lot of what I do with my work is I coach people. So by all means, drop me a message if you think I could help you, or if it's joining like courses, group accountability. We've got our membership, again, the Success School membership, which is just full of incredible people. But get help. Like, stop believing, again, you can be superhuman and different to everybody else and do it alone. Nobody ever did. I spoke about it at the event, those that were there on Sunday, about this idea of being self-made. There's no such thing as self-made. The most successful entrepreneurs, the most successful pop stars, athletes, sports teams have a load of people around them helping them get to where they get. So why do you think you can achieve your goals alone? You know, so please take this one seriously. And again, it's going to be, you're going to want different help based on what your goals are and what season you're in and things like that. But the point is, it's a massive one. Get help. Do not do it alone. And Helen, ultimately, that was what was the start of this whole journey for you, wasn't it? You just initially was just listening to the Success School podcast, right?
It was, yeah. And then obviously join the community and then work one-to-one with you. And then it's just, but you know what? I think it's a journey once you get on and you start getting around the right people that you just thoroughly enjoy. Like, so much enjoyment in it, I think, in getting to know yourself, in growing, in building your confidence. It's just, it's not like a slog. It can be at times when you're trying to overcome yourself, and sometimes it's like, you know, you do have to get deep with yourself sometimes, but the vast majority of the time, it's just such a pleasure to be on the journey and to start seeing things a different way and start managing yourself in a different way. It's lovely. I think everybody should do it.
And speaking of which, I do genuinely believe, not just because it's our community, but we've got some of the most supportive, loveliest people in Success School. We've obviously had a few new signups join us just in the last week, haven't we? And when somebody new joins, we always say to the community, like, give them a little voice note, give them a message. I was just listening to Sarah Carter's on the way over here when we were setting up for this live. And she said genuinely, she was like, and I know Sarah's watching, I think, on Facebook, genuinely, there's different groups out there and all the rest of it. And we've all been at different communities, different groups. And she just said, but the atmosphere and the supportive nature and how you feel when you join Success School is not really felt anywhere else. You're genuinely around people who want the best for you, who are there to support you, and they're also working on being the best them as well. And that's such a powerful, incredible place to be. Let us know in the comments now. Again, really interested. Every single one of you watching, right? I'm speaking to you. Please, if you would, just put either yes, I'm in Success School, or no, if you're not, because I just want to get a feel for how many of you from Success School are also watching these additional videos, but also how many of you are not joining us. And I'm not going to be like, it's not going to be a hard sell. I'm not going to be like, you should, you loser. You know, we're not going to do any of that kind of nonsense. I'm just genuinely intrigued how many people are following, how many people are watching these videos that are signed up and that aren't signed up. And for those who aren't, I just want to show you a little bit over here now as well of, because unless you join us, you don't know what it looks like when you join. First thing to say is you do get to join our WhatsApp group and also our private Facebook group. But in addition to them, and that's where we engage the most, isn't it, really? That's when you're going to get most interaction. But in addition to that, just to show you, this is what it looks like when you join us in the membership area on your computer. And you can see here, like you've got so you got this little welcome area here where I'll do a video just welcoming you to the community. But then you've got the live coaching calls that we have. And you can see all the, I mean, it's 104 minutes, 75 minutes, 71. There's all these calls here from the last few years that you can go through like a complete range of stuff. Self-reflection. We've got a goal setting session, self-reflection and breaking limiting beliefs, power of better questions, become a master influence, create lasting change, 7 steps to an extraordinary life, how to go from stuck to unstoppable, build authentic confidence, achieve high performance, the mid-year reflect, review and plan that we did last month, 6 human needs and your definition of success, mastermind, and then the most recent one we did, which was developing true ambition and creating higher standards. So they're the live coaching calls that you're invited to join us on Zoom, but then they're all available here for you to watch within 24 hours, basically, of us going live. And then in addition to this, look at this. We've got mindset and self-development training. There's 31 training videos here that I've created for you to work through as and when. That's just going to be working on you, on your mindset, on your habits, on your goals. Then we've got all these guest teacher webinars, which are just like bonuses. We've got so many of them. I mean, there's just so much content. It's insane. So you can see here, we've got kind of like section 1, which is mindset and self-development. So obviously before section 1, you've just got, these are just the live Zooms that we do weekly. Then section 1 of the like pre-recorded sort of content is mindset and self-development. Section 2 is business. So if you want to work on your finances, if you want to start a side hustle, if you want to work on a business, there's all training videos around this kind of stuff here. And you can just click on here. These are all videos. They all give you sort of genuine, like step-by-step things that you can work on and exercises that are going to help you. So that's what we have there. And then also, again, you've got 34 business, like we've got all these incredible people. Aaron Branch, who's there, an expert on social media. You got Joseph Menzel, here we got multimillionaire Jason James. So many incredible people here that are talking business. Anyway, we've got all that. And then the third and final section is health and fitness. Again, we've got some interviews with experts, including doctors in there. Then we've also got workouts and stretches that the incredible Heidi Dunford, shout out to Heidi, has got in there for you as well. So if you want to work out from home and you don't want to go on a gym, or just sometimes you want the option to just have something that's quick and easy, there's all these different workouts. There's a breath work session. There's so much in there for you to work through. And I just wanted to share that because I feel probably most people, it's hard to like, can I just remind you, it is free. It is free to join us. If you sign up now, you can have access to all of that and just work through it. And then you can be on the live call that we're doing this Thursday, 7 p.m. You can be in our WhatsApp group with our incredible community right now for free. Basically on a try before you buy for a couple of weeks. And after that, it's just £4 odd, less than £5 a week to stay with us. So you basically get now, if you join us today, you will get access to all of that for 6 weeks for less than £20. Which you can't get anything for £20 now. I know I'm underselling it. I know it's worth more. I know anybody that's in there will agree it's worth more, but I'm doing it purposely because I don't want to just work with a small amount of people. I want to genuinely try and make a positive impact on as many people as physically possible. So just thought it might be interesting to show you a little bit about that. What would you say to people that are on the fence, Helen, that like, oh, it looks overwhelming, or it's not the right time to work on myself. I'm too busy. I'm too stressed. I'm not in the right mood. What would you say about joining?
I think it's always the right time to work on yourself. And if you're busy and stressed, it's probably definitely the right time to work on yourself, because obviously you can learn to manage that better. But I just think, I was looking at that then when you was clicking through it and scrolling through it. And like people always say to me, like, you're so good at this stuff. You're so wise. You have all this knowledge. And it's like, yeah, because I've consumed all of that. Do you know what I mean? Like I didn't know anything about any of this stuff when I came to you and when I came to Success School. That's how I've learned it all. I've been on all of those coaching calls that are there to watch back. I've been, I've listened to all of those experts. I've worked through those sections of the course. And it's just to look at what you get for £19 a month. It's a no-brainer. And obviously then it's not just that. You've then got the WhatsApp group with the check-ins. You've then got the Facebook group as well.
Yeah.
It's just so much to take from it. And I can honestly say, like, it has completely changed my life and completely changed the direction of my life, the way I feel about myself, my confidence. I mean, when I come to you 5 years ago, would I have sat here and done this?
Just with ease as well. Like I've just rushed here from the radio station with the radio show that I do with Danny Mallon. We've had like no time to prep this, and we've just gone, let's just go live and just go through these stages and just riff off each other. And you just do it with such ease, and you've got so much wisdom and experience that you draw upon, which I know is really, really useful and inspiring for people. So it's not just me now coaching. You bring so much to the table. But like you say, you've had to build the confidence to do that, right?
Yeah, and it's all just come through being in Success School, and it's come over time. And like we've said, the compound effect. It's just small steps. And to start off dipping your toe into personal development with this sort of thing where it's a membership, where it's £19 a month, it's not a massive investment, but it is an investment in yourself. And I just think it's the perfect place to start. It's where I started. I wouldn't change a thing.
Head on over to the link in my bio if you want to join us. It's on Instagram. I don't know, have you got the link there, Helen, if you can maybe pop it in, or if anyone watching.
Yes, I can get it.
Yeah, Helen's going to stick it in. If anyone else has got it, please do drop it in the comments so people that want to join us for free can do. But I want to say this. I think with a lot of this stuff now, there is everything you need available to you. If right now you're not on track, if right now you're struggling, if right now you're not achieving the goals you want to achieve, it's not through a lack of accessibility. Look at what we've just said. Like, my podcast is free. We're doing these free live videos to help people. And then to join us in the membership and get access to all those training videos that are going to help you is completely free. And after that, it's £4 odd, £4.70 or whatever it is a week. Like, if you care and prioritize this enough, you can find the money for less than 20 quid a month to get support, to get help, to learn, to work on this stuff. So please don't kid yourself in terms of saying, oh, I don't have access to it or I don't have the money to it. There's options like what we're doing at Success School that absolutely are available to all of you if you do your bit, which is take the opportunity, click the link, sign up, get involved, engage with the community, push yourself out of your comfort zone. You might need to, but once you do that is when you're going to start to, over time, see the difference, get the benefits and make the changes to your life, to your relationships, to your health, to your fitness, to your finances that you want to make. But it's certainly going to happen if you just sit there thinking, oh, it's not for me, I can't do it. You have to get involved. You just see over on Instagram. Let us know if anyone's got any questions as well. Just final couple of minutes, anything they want to share, please do put them in the comments. I can see Gavin Larry is here. Good to see you, mate. Gavin has said, forget the live Zooms, the podcast videos you can get involved in, and they get recorded so you can go back to them. Then there's the people surrounding yourself with this amazing, and then there's the events. Absolutely. And our next event, guys, again, link is available in my bio if you want to join us. Next event is going to happen in February 2025. It's Sunday the 3rd of Feb. 3rd or the 2nd, I can't remember, but
I think
we'll say that again.
I think it's the 2nd.
2nd, sorry. Yeah, great. Sunday the 2nd of Feb. Click the link in my bio and you can come and join us at the event there as well. Is there any comments, anything, any questions?
There's a good question here for you to get your teeth into. You'll like this one. This is right up your street. I'm not a gym person. Well, I've never, hang on, it's just scroll down. It would, wouldn't it? Hang on.
Who is this, by the way?
It's Joe Newson. I'm not a gym person. Well, never been to one. How do I start?
Go. It's that simple. And this is the same advice to everyone, Joe. Like, decide, do you want to be one or not? That's it. Do you want to be a gym person? If the answer is no, I don't want to get fitter. I don't want to get healthier. I don't want to get in an environment that supports me getting fitter and healthier. The answer is no, don't go. If the answer is yes, go. But what I would say is it comes back to what we've covered in the points today. Make it as underwhelming versus overwhelming as possible. Make it sustainable. So, for example, it might just be a case of I'm just going to go and have a look around the gym. That's the first step. The second thing is I'm just going to go and I'm just going to pick one thing to work on for 5 minutes and I'm going to leave. Like, get yourself to a position where you get used to going without the overwhelm of having to be an expert or know what you're doing. And also when you get there, again, another point that we covered today, ask for help. There is staff that are literally there to help you. If you don't know what something is, if you don't know what you should be doing, and you might want to look at considering getting a personal trainer if you can afford something like that. But the point is, whatever we want out of life, guys, you're not going to get it by just saying, oh, I've never done it and I don't know where to start. You just have to start. You have to start. And what did I say at the first event? Be comfortable being shit. I said that when I was stood on stage. I said the first time I spoke on stage, I was shit. The second time I was a little bit less shit. The third time, and what I said there was, here I am, still shit. And obviously I was having a bit of a joke, but the point is, if you can just be willing to be comfortable in the discomfort, but keep on going. To see there, Lynn's put baby steps. Absolutely, just little steps. The more you get exposure, the more you get familiar, the more you're going to grow in that environment. So that was what I would say about anybody. But again, it comes back to this identity of, if you're going to tell yourself a gym person, then you're not a gym person. You're not going to be one. If you're just like, I'm not a gym person, you just got to start to say, do you know what? I want to be one. That is the identity I want. I want to be somebody who's passionate about looking after myself, who cares about health, who wants vibrancy, who wants energy. That's the person I want to embody. So the first thing is the recognition that is the person I actually want to be. And then it's to start to focus on the being it. What would that sort of person be? And then you start to embody that identity step by step. It's really, really important. I can see as well, Gavin's over here. So all the live, the podcast, the events, and the people, when the support and knowledge you get exceeds the price, that means you get value. Love that. Absolutely brilliant. Carol said, I've been revisiting some of the stuff in the membership area today, stuff I needed to see and repeat. That's the beauty of it. You can keep going back to it. This community helped me change. Love that, Carol, and I'm so pleased. And yeah, I always say, like, what we teach is foundational, and that means you need to keep coming back to it all the time because it's the foundations to success, not just at the beginning of your journey. Really, really important to keep revisiting it. Even myself as well. I mean, especially myself. Any other questions or any comments there from your side?
So there's a couple of comments. Sandra has said, oh, this must be in response to when you said who's a member and who's not. She said not yet. She needs to finish a bulletproof course first.
Great, Sandra. Absolutely excellent. Drop me a message if you've any questions about it.
Yeah, and then Katie has said no, not yet. So that sounds like she's not yet. But
come and bloody join us, love. Like I say, completely free. It's a try before you buy. You get a few weeks with us. Our next live Zoom call for members only is this Thursday. So make sure you sign up before that. Come, throw yourself in the deep end. Join us. You've got a few weeks then. If you don't like it, you can just cancel. It won't cost you a penny. You'll just be taking from me. You'll just be getting from me. You won't have to give me anything back in return. It's as simple as that. But if you do love it and you do want to stay, it's still really affordable.
Got another comment here for you, Matt, as well, from Sarah Carter. She said, I answered a question at the last event, and it wasn't until I got home that I realised that I'd spoken up in front of everyone in the room. I'd have never done that before.
Yeah.
But I was so comfortable in the room that I didn't realise how big of a thing it was. I can do so many things now. And you know what? I did exactly the same, because remember when there was the Q&A and you brought the mic over to me and I asked the question with the mic, and it was only the day after I thought, I asked a question in a room full of 100 people with a mic. I spoke on a mic, and it, like, exactly what Sarah said, didn't even feel nervous, didn't even panic, it's just insane.
Absolutely love that. And again, that's a combination of the fact you've been showing up, putting in the work, exposing yourself to getting out of your comfort zone. And secondly, I do believe because you knew there was a lot of people from Success School there, as well as people who aren't part of the membership, might add. But because, like we were saying earlier, there genuinely are lovely bloody people in there there's no egos. It's just about, we all want to grow. We all want to improve. We all want to achieve. We all want to get the most out of this life. It's an amazing environment to be in, right?
Yeah. It's just like no judgment, isn't it? And I think that speaks volumes about that community. The fact that two of us didn't even realise that we'd done it, didn't feel any discomfort, I think just speaks volumes about. I said that to you the day after the event, didn't I? I was like, the vibe in that room, it was just warm. There was just warm. Like, everybody in there was just a good person. You could feel it. It was just lovely.
It's my favorite place to be, is those live events. Do you know what's interesting? Yeah. Can you see those comments on screen, everybody? I can see today, this is different to yesterday. I can see Facebook coming up on here. Look at that. So we can select, we can see, yeah. And I don't think can you scroll up and down? I don't know if you can scroll up and down, but yeah, that's interesting. So look, day by day, we're getting better at this live streaming, multi-streaming thing. Is there any more questions for you? I can see, Lynn has said, wow, Sarah, and she's saying there, join us as well, because Lynn obviously is a massive integral part of our community over there. Yeah, Gavin saying, remove the I'm not a gym person. Yeah, if you, like we said earlier, if you're going to tell yourself that you're not, then you won't be. It's as simple as that. I can see over there that Joe, who asked that question, has said, I so needed this session. So thank you so much, Matt. Thanks, Joe. I'm really, really pleased it's been useful. Let us know as well. We're about to finish now. Anyone else that have found this useful? Like, do you want us to do more of these? Because obviously we're going to be led by you. We are planning on going live tomorrow. Is it 4 p.m. tomorrow, Helen?
Yes, 4 o'clock tomorrow.
I think generally where possible, we'll probably try and do a few a bit later, though, because I think more people are available. Let us know. In fact, let us know as well in the comments. Do you prefer 4 p.m. or 5 p.m.? What is better for you? I can see Carol saying the community you have to experience to believe how amazing it is. Thanks, Carol. Jeanette says that's brilliant, Sarah. And Helen, yeah, well done. Gavin says, I need to know how to do this streaming. Costs you 50 quid a month, Gavin. I'm not going to lie. Carol saying, yes, more. Great. Let us know if you'd rather have 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. Tomorrow we are scheduled to go live again, but it's at 4 p.m. an hour earlier. And tomorrow we're going to talk about how to be happier, because I think this is a really important one. And don't just think, oh, that's going to be airy fairy. No. Like, it is still going to be about achieving goals. It is still going to be talking about having success and those external wins that we're, you know, a lot of us want. But it's about doing it in a way that genuinely is fulfilling, genuinely, you know, means you have joy in your life and you can be happy. Because I think a lot of people, they place happiness on a destination and they think I will be happy when I lose weight, when I have that amount of money, when I find the love of my life. They constantly think they'll be happy in the future. And actually, happiness is available to us right now if we're aware of it and if we look for it. So we're going to go in deep on the subject of happiness tomorrow, which I think is a really important one. So please do show up tomorrow, 4 p.m. if you can. I can see people are voting over on Instagram. So Jeanette saying yes, they want more. Carol would prefer 5. Lynn would prefer 5. Jeanette would prefer 4, and Gavin Larry has said happy as Larry. Any responses over there?
Yeah, we've got a 5 o'clock here as well. Sandra said she leaves work at 4, so 5 is better.
We shall do our best. We'll do our best.
We can mix them up, can't we? We can do some 4s and some 5s, and
yeah,
we can please everybody.
Gavin says here, well, there's a question for you, Helen. So Lynn says happiness is gratitude. Love that. And Jeanette saying we'll have to leave the session early. No worries. But Gavin says, I've got a good question. Helen, what's your main current goal? What's the main thing for you that you want to achieve?
So actually, Gavin, weight loss.
Oh, that worked well for him, didn't it? Those who don't know, Gavin's a personal trainer, so that worked brilliant.
Funny. Because it shifts around all the time, and actually up until like quite recently, I'd been made redundant and needed to sort out a path in life, which we seem to have found now, thankfully, because I'm working alongside Matt and I'm super happy, really, really happy. But I have been, for the start of this year, for the first 6 months, it was all about us having therapy for an anxiety disorder, and I've overcome that and I've got better. But while I was doing that, I've kind of took my eye off the ball with nutrition. I was having this conversation with Matt the other day. Yeah. So then I've put some weight back on that I'd lost. So now I need to lose that again, which is frustrating. But like this coaching call is all about, it's getting back on track. I'm not doing anything silly. I've sorted my nutrition out. I've been for a walk today. I'm going to get myself back in the gym. It's just going to be the compound effect, essentially. And I think it's really important to be open about that and be honest about that and say, like, even though, like, you know, I've been on this journey for 5 years, Matt's been on this journey for even longer, we still have times where we're spinning that many different plates and you have to prioritize something that other things fall off. And that is completely normal. The difference is with us now that when that happens, we don't freak out about it. We're just like, I know that I can sort that out and that I can lose that. I think it's about 9 pounds that I want to lose. I know I can do it. I'm not stressing. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, yeah, okay, need to put your eye back on that now. Stop eating Dominoes. Get your backside back in the gym.
Have you really been eating Dominoes?
I have.
Jesus, Helen, I didn't know it was that bad. We need to talk. I'm joking. but this is exactly what I coach. This is exactly how I live, which is about seasons. And I say, look, if you're quite ambitious, if there's a lot you want to achieve in life, remove the pressure to be perfect at everything all the time. I always say, forget perfection. It doesn't exist. The lowest standard, this is what Tony Robbins says, the lowest standard you can focus on achieving or aim to achieve is perfection, because it literally is impossible. So stop trying to get perfection. And I speak about working in seasons. So it's like saying, like, for this, whether it be 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 3 months, whatever, what are the main priorities? And then everything else, just do your best to maintain as best as possible without this expectation that you have to be perfect in those areas. And then once you've achieved goals, whether it be career goals, business goals, financial goals, then you might go, right, done that. You know, for you, it was the therapy and working on the anxiety, and you've really thrown yourself into that. It's been super challenging, super hard. It's not come easy. It's taken up a lot of time. It's been emotionally exhausting and draining. And then there's been times where you've gone, I'm really proud that I've done that, but I've got nothing else left. My mood's low. I'm tired. I want a Domino's. And rather than then going, and no, I'm going to feel guilty about it, you've gone, no, I'm proud I'm making progress in this area. I'm probably not going to eat Domino's today. I'm going to eat a bit healthier, but it's okay. There's balance there. Now what you're saying is, I've smashed those goals. You've had an incredible achievement, some incredible progress because you prioritized it and you know, put enough energy, time and focus into it. Now you said, but this has slipped a little, so now we're going to shift the focus and put this as more of a priority. And I just think it's a really good, well-rounded and also enjoyable way of achieving stuff.
Yeah, and exactly like you said then, I did maintain as much of it as I possibly could. I did still eat as well as I could, as often as I could, and still exercise. Not to the extent that I was exercising prior to that, but I was still working out at home pretty much every day, either doing yoga, going for a walk, or doing my kettlebell at home. And like I Instagrammed on, I do reels every day, I documented that. But even so, maintaining them, once I took my eye off the nutrition and started eating chocolate and Domino's, I soon put some weight on. So, but you know what I mean? Like, I think it's so important to be honest about this, and I will hold my hands up. And yeah, but it's all going to change again now.
There we go. Right, guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm just going to do a quick recap for the 6 steps. Obviously, those that are just joining us now, watch the replay because we go into depth on these. But just to give you a recap, and again, like I always say when I'm coaching stuff, ultimately, all this is a waste of time unless you do something because you listen to this. So I would urge you, at least if you are somebody that's been stuck in a rut, that's lost motivation, that feels they're not on track and you want to get back on track, at least take one of these points and as quickly as possible take an action on it. So step number 1 was about removing the all in versus all out mentality. And we talked about the 48-hour rule. Step 2 is about identifying what are the triggers that make it more likely to have bad habits, remove them as best as possible, but also increase exposure to the triggers that are going to help it make it easier for you to do good habits. Number 3, we talked a lot about remove stresses from your life. That's going to be a big thing that throws you off track. Again, as best as you can. Number 4, just pick 1 or 2 things you're going to commit to doing and make them simple habits that are easy to do, that are not overwhelming. Number 5 was putting an emphasis on identity around your beliefs, around who you are, not just on the goal and the actions. And number 6, get help, get support. If you're serious about staying on track, if you're serious about achieving these goals, you cannot do it alone. You must get help in whatever shape or form that is. Any final comments, Helen, just before we finish?
No, I just think it's absolutely fantastic advice, and I think it's definitely something that we both always go to and always use. So I would just say, listen to the man. He knows what he's talking about. There is, an entire community of people that are getting results by listening to what he has to say. And obviously, if you're interested in joining the community, we would absolutely love to have you come and join us.
100%. And as I say as well, this content, whether people join us or not, this content is here to help people. The mission at Success School, help as many people as possible live happier, healthier, and more fulfilling lives. It's really hard to do. We're only a tiny team. So please, if you have found this useful, especially if you are over on Facebook or LinkedIn, please do share this video. It just helps us get it out there to more people. And in doing so, you help us help other people start to help yourself. And we're creating a ripple effect of positivity, which I think is more needed than ever in a world where we're consistently inundated with negative news and fear mongering and fake news and all this kind of nonsense. So please do help us spread the word if you genuinely think it's useful what we're talking about, if you think it's the sort of conversations that more people need exposure to. And again, as Helen said there, please do come and give us a go at Success School. Give us a try. It's completely free to join us. And we would love to welcome you into the community. So tomorrow we will be back for more live inspiration, conversation, and education. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about the subject, which is how you can genuinely be happier. And I know that might just sound a little bit woo-woo and like, oh, I don't know if that's for me. Come and join us tomorrow. It's going to be such a powerful, important conversation. We're not here for a long time. Life is short. And I think it's so important that you don't consistently put happiness onto a destination and put happiness off. It's important that we really find joy in the journey today, in this moment right now, and we're going to be going deep on that subject. But for me and Helen, thank you so much to every single one of you that's been here live. Thanks for the engagement. Thanks for the comments. Appreciate if you would share, and we'd love to see you join us in the Success School community. And if you do, we'll see you over there in the WhatsApp group straight after this. Lots of love, everybody. Thank you so much, and we'll see